doesn't concern you, citizen.
I am a ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ justiciar on important business that you are interfering with. We're making sure your emperor wasn't lying to his elven masters when he agreed the Empire would give up false gods and foolish beliefs.
Now go away.
Yes? Yes? Yeah? Thank you, stranger. This is what I get for trying to please my audience. It may not be apparent by my present choice in attire, but I'm a bard, and I take requests. The other day, someone asked me to play Age of Oppression, and the next thing I know, I'm part of this unholy quartet. You've met the other 3 members of the band: ugly, angry, and dead. Ah, that would be I, Dalen Oakhollow, of the old Bosmary tribe. Of course, the other members just referred to me as traitor. But if you'll employ me as your companion, I swear on the woodland gods that I will not live up to that name. I'm a jack of all trades, and a master of none. I'm good with a bow, but I can't say I'm great. I know a few spells, but I don't know enough. What I can provide is effort. Some will call it bravery, others will call it foolishness, but no one will ever say I didn't give you my all. Officially, I play what the patrons ask me to play. Unofficially, well, let's just say I'm not so good with the lyrics to certain songs. Aggression, oppression, who knows what these words really mean? Certainly not a poor, uneducated bard who only speaks in melody. It means I dislike the ᵯᴑᴆ. Anything to annoy them is fine by me. People who worship Talos seem to be high on their list. Same reason I hate vegetables. It's in the blood. Nothing I could make sense out of. Although they did talk about the prison I was going to. They even said I'd have a cellmate. Some mercenary. Supposedly he had some information they wanted. When he refused to talk, they started torturing him. The joke was they were going to make me play my lute and drive him crazy with my singing. Everyone's a critic. That he does, and while he may not care for my lute, I think the sound of my bow will be music to his ears. They call it Coldstone. It's an old mine to the southwest that tunnels under the mountains. Of course, this makes it a lot colder than most caves you'll find in Falkreath, hence the name. I think I got the gist of where it is by their description, but it's easier if I just mark it on your map. It's fairly blasphemous for a Bosmer to chop wood. To that I say, that sounds like a splendid idea, but first we'll need to fetch my lute. And not the one the ᵯᴑᴆ confiscated. That was a shoddy replacement. Yes, I'm rather partial to it. Unfortunately, the harlot left me for another set of hands, which is another way of saying I gambled it away. Why indeed? In life, I find the biggest risks net the biggest rewards. Besides, I still have an ace up my sleeve. I lost it to a bandit chief in a game of Iron Hearts. Clever, right? When you gamble with bandits, you don't have to win your things back. You just find the nearest jarl and ask for the bounty. That's the problem. Bandits are a nomadic lot. Although this one was an orc, so that should narrow our search. But rather than raid every bandit camp from here to High Rock, it's best to look in places where the mead flows and the people dance. Because if I know my lute, she always finds a merry home. Yes?
you need something. Greetings, Nord. Welcome to Rift Watchtower. Stay for a while, have a drink, but before you leave, don't forget to check out the view from upstairs. It'll take your breath away. Why, at no other place can you get a clear view of the Falled Forest, the northern sky, and the chain of mountains that form the spine of the world. It would be a shame for a fine Nord such as yourself to come all this way and not take in such a marvelous view of their ancestral homeland. If you please, the stairs are right over there. I swear the views are so mesmerizing you may never want to come back. Why shouldn't I be? You Nords have been nothing but hospitable to us Dunmer since we arrived from Merrowwind. Now please, feel free to visit the rooftop and I will join you shortly.
Is there something I can do for you?
What are you looking at? This better be good.
Look, you know they say it's bad to overfish a river.
What do you want?
You ought to let
Yes?
bandits live.
Need something?
If you're not enjoying yourself, there's more liquor around here somewhere. Ah, another Nord. Bothru must have sent you up here for me to maim you and feed your carcass to the wolves. Not to worry, friend. Old Dravos has no intention of turning anyone into meatloaf. For I serve not the Lord of Destruction, but ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴆ, the Prince of Debauchery. Why slaughtering Nords? At least that's what he thinks he's doing. It fills him with an emotion that I can only describe as glee, because, well, that smile of his, it leaves me at a loss for words. And while he's full of glee now, imagine if he knew this was all a charade. Why, I dare say he'd be rather unfulfilled. The kind where you have a seat, drink some wine, and enjoy the view. When you wish to leave, the invisibility potion on the table will allow you to slip past Bothru unnoticed. Or, you may seek to confront him and convince him of his folly, although I would advise against it, as he's not the most pleasant person to talk to. Oh, I did. I was once a member of the Kinvil caste, roaming the Deadlands in search of things to destroy. Yet it all changed when I was summoned to the mortal plane, not by a conjurer, but by a man carrying a large staff shaped like a rose. And this old man, he wanted me to crush bandits. Something about his son being killed and molested or beaten to death by them. Real boring stuff. Only these bandits didn't fight like bandits. Didn't look like him either. And they all owned wine cellars. I started getting these weird tingly feelings. What mortals call free will? Sure, it went against everything I had ever been taught or stood for. But I was tired of learning and wanted to sit down. So I slew the old man, only to see him rise up out of the ground all shiny, like some sort of skin wraith filled with gold. Turns out his name wasn't Old Man after all. It was ᵯᴑᴆᴆ, and he offered me a beer. Exactly. ᵯᴑᴆᴆ wanted me to betray him so I could betray myself. It's all rather simple if you don't think about it. I'm not clear on what the rules regarding Daedric princes and their subjects are, but what is clear is that ᵯᴑᴆᴆ cares not for rules. To make him a tool of merriment, of course, Think of us all as a part of a single drunken revelry. Each attendee contributes to the overall joy. When a person such as ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ enters the room with this special brand of gloom, bitterness, and hate, it brings the entire party down. So why not make him a doorman? The one who stands outside the party and checks invitations and knows not what goes on inside. Up here is the roof where happiness was invented, where plates dance with spoons, where the shine met the sun and the light met the stars. And this is the roof where reservations choke and die, where the scantily clad are merry and glad, and our throats burble with wine. Well, not literally, of course, but there was another time and another place very much like this, when mortals first discovered happiness. Well, Dromora have what you call a caste system, and what I call ancient history. But if you're curious, there's different levels of rank based on strength. At the bottom, you have your churls and caitiffs. At the top, your Marcanaz and Vulcanaz. In the middle are Kinvul, Kinreeve, and Kinmarcher. Now as far as mortals are concerned, the bottom tier are the ones most commonly summoned, because they're the easiest to bind. The top ones are the strongest, so they curry the most favor with Lord Dagon. But as you can clearly see, those of us in the middle are the handsomest of the three. I live how I want, which is what he demands. To make love, not war. Only making love isn't as easy as, say, baking a pie. It's more like baking 2 pies, when you only have room for half a bun. So to wash down both pies you have to drink. Ale, beer, mead, and wine, and exactly in that order. Drinking's more fun when you do it alphabetically. In any case, that's what serving under Sanguine's like. Only everyone's naked. Well, of course, everyone starts out clothed. It's no fun being naked otherwise. Why else? The man hates fun. It's a disease that inflicts a lot of folks who don't worship Daedra. To them, fun is like encountering a cave bear. It looks warm and fuzzy, but it'll rip your head off and use your neck as a waste bucket. To them, fun is like finding inventive ways to kill yourself. To that I say, death is a small price to pay. Well, fun can expand to a great many things. Fun can be taking a bath in a cauldron of warm mead, or eating sweet rolls off a tavern wench's bosom. Fun can be riding your horse down a mountain, or pushing it off one if you prefer. Fun can be killing 7 bandits or corrupting 1 priest. Whatever it is, and whatever you're doing, the only question that's important is this. Are you having fun? And tell me the answer to that, and I'll tell you whether or not you should kill yourself. I don't think that's a good idea. In fact, it's a terrible idea, pretty much the worst idea ever conceived. If there were a conjuration spell that could summon all the terrible ideas in the world and rank them according to terribleness, yours would be first. When he gets real ornery, his voice will yell the sort of expletives that make horses stand on their back legs and the bards forget their lyrics. Moons plummet from the sky, and seas will boil with such fury, they'll have to create a new divine to explain the phenomenon. Rabbits will forget how to fornicate, the clouds will forget how to rain, and Ragnar will find his head just to cover his ears. With a single rant, poor ᵯᴑᴆᴆ can accomplish all these things, yet he can't bring himself to smile. Some sort of party? Are you trying to make me angry? Are there not spirits to drink? Ladies to dance with? Orcs? If this isn't a party, I'd like to attend the parties you go to, and bow to the person who throws them. Try not to pass out before the real fun begins.
Need something?
I do hope you're enjoying the party.
Hmm?
You came down the steps. What happened up there? How did you manage to survive? Oh, he did he? Blasted traitor. Don't think you've won yet, you dirty snow ape. You'll get yours as soon as I figure out how best to give it. You Nords are a sensitive, insecure lot, overcompensating for your inferiority by treating Denver like second-class citizens. Ever since we've arrived from Morrowind, we've been insulted and derided, treated like the beast the Nords undoubtedly are. I was at the Bee and Bob in Riften, plotting my next course of action when I met a man by the name of ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ. After a few bottles of mead, I told him my plan to rid the world of snow apes once and for all. Surprisingly, he offered to help. But first, he wanted to play a game. If I managed to solve his riddle, he told me he would provide me with a powerful weapon to attain my goal. With nothing to lose, I accepted his challenge. In the end, the riddle proved rather easy to solve. What stands on 4 legs in the morning, 10 legs during the day, and is stood upon at night? Spiders are indeed stepped on to death, but wear 8 legs during life. No, the answer is a dirty, thieving Khajiit. It crawls on all 4s as a kitty, stands on its toes as it attempts to steal your coin purse, and dies a worthless rug under your feet. Sam handed me a scroll. He said if I used it, I could summon a bound ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ to this realm for an indefinite amount of time. I wasn't sure if I believed him, but it wasn't something I could try in the middle of a crowded city, so I headed west to this watchtower. There were a couple of orc bandits guarding the entrance. I decided they would make a good test for my ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴆ. Sure enough, the scroll worked, and the ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴆ quickly dispatched of the Orsimer, and I waited patiently at the bottom of the hill. When he didn't return, I walked into the tower to find him on the rooftop drinking a bottle of ale. There's something funny about this ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴆ. He doesn't respond to all of my commands, or any of them for that matter. It made no difference to me as long as he kills the bloody snow monkeys I sent upstairs. Only now I'm starting to wonder. What? You mean to tell me it isn't just you? Every single one of those bearded hawkers I've sent to him is alive? No, impossible! This is the only exit to the watchtower. You're the liar, stranger. You're the one not to be trusted. My experience here in Skyrim has conformed precisely to my expectations. People say the only difference between a Nord and a sack of manure is the sack. That is an unforgivable insult to manure. Crops grow from manure that replenishes the soil, and when I drop a load of manure in a bucket, it's generally a pleasurable experience. The Nords, meanwhile, are a blight on this land, drum-beating savages whose existence we'd accept if they weren't so sodding noisy. No sooner did I arrive in Windhelm when one such ornery icebard told me to go back to Morrowind. Like all other hornblowers that infest Skyrim, he was insistent this was Nordland, when elves were here long before Ysgramord settled. Of course, Nord arguments are won by whoever shouts the loudest, and this one clearly had me bested in that regard. You don't need a Dragonborn to tell me that shouting is a frost monkey's greatest weapon. purpose would that have served? Do you mean to tell me I could tell you ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ is a great big melon, and if I punched you in the face it would make it so? That's an even dumber reason for winning an argument than shouting. At least shouting involves words, but it doesn't surprise me at all. As expected in a land of nitwits, the Nords choose their leaders and their laws based on coin flips, fist size, and who can down the most mead. I once saw a Nord walk into a blacksmith shop and demand a refund. He placed the sword on the counter and screamed at the smith. I told you I wanted a left-handed sword, he said. This one is clearly made for right-handed swordsmen. The smith sighed and told the Nord to return in an hour. When the Nord left, he flipped the sword to face the opposite direction. As far as I'm concerned, the only way we can coexist is to eradicate your very existence. Unfortunately, unlike the Khajiit, I can't simply make you disappear by offering you a job. It takes a little more guile. And next you'll tell me Nords aren't a snow-licking, fur-sniffing, bloodthirsty band of bearded apes who carve their butter with a battle axe. Not just Nords, cats too. You know the difference between a saber cat and a Khajiit? Saber cats actually hunt their food instead of stealing it. Ever heard of the one about the Nord who wants to be buried at sea? His entire family died trying to dig his grave. Goodbye.
I do hope you're enjoying the party.
Yes? That you did, and in good shape, all things considered. Granted, I don't know much about ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ, but I've never pictured them to be musically inclined. In any case, should I play a song? It seems fitting, given where we are. Alright, what song shall I play? A good request. I think I know the words to that one. The bow plays the music of the forest, and the wind is its conductor. Well, I have to admit I haven't been entirely honest with you. You helped me find my loot, and for that I'm eternally grateful. The problem is there seems to be something missing. Or rather, someone. That's right. And I don't mean a pet dragonfly or something like that. I mean a real person. Just a really tiny one. You may not know this, but there's all sorts of weird creatures in Valenwood. Well, you call them weird. We just call them creatures. Ever read A Dance in Fire? She's sort of like the mimics that live in the trees. Except that she has legs and a brain. My guess is the orc realized she was valuable and sold her off. But finding her should be easy. You want to sell a woodland creature? You find yourself a hag. How about I mark a couple spots on your map and we look there? So this is where you've been hiding.
Hiding? Do you even remember what you did?
My apologies, my lady. It was a joke, and in poor taste. The truth is, I made a mistake. I'm here to make amends.
Oh, well, I guess that makes it okay. Although, not really. Did you at least find the loot?
I did, thanks to my faithful companion over here.
You two are companions.
That's right, at least until I gamble him away.
That's not funny. You're always teasing people.
I'm sorry, it's just easy because you make such a big fuss.
More size jokes. Well, in any case, Daneland's always been picky about his partners, so I'm glad he's found one he likes. I'm a tree sprite. Well, think of us as tiny little spriggans with flesh, or if you prefer, tiny little people made of twigs. That's not a very good explanation, is it? Is that where we are? Skyrim. Skyrim. Where is that in Balenwood? It is? Oh no. It's all that Bard's fault. He's the one who brought me here. By Frey, I must sound rather daft. I suppose I should start from the beginning. You see, like spriggans, we're born from the trees, and in many ways, we're bound to them. Sadly, one day when I was out gathering food, a bolt of lightning fell from the sky and split my home in two. Yes, but the forest was in flames. I couldn't outrun the fire, so I crawled into the roots of an old stump, deep underground, and cast a spell. It's an old one every sprite knows in case of a fire. It puts you to sleep until the day the trees grow back. Only, when I awoke, there wasn't a forest, there was a city. Yes, a military outpost built by the Empire, and worse yet, one made of stone. By then, my life was fading. I had used up every last bit of magic left in that stump. I was scrambling into every room, looking for a piece of the forest. But the chairs, tables, and floors, almost all the wood came from faraway lands. I nearly panicked. I thought I was going to die. But then, suddenly, I heard the most beautiful music fill the halls of the tavern. And there it was, sitting in the corner, was this Bosmer, strumming a lute as red as the sunset in Woodhearth. It came from the same wood as the forest. No, not just my forest, but my tree. I don't know how or why, but when I crawled inside it, I felt like myself again. And lucky for me, the bard who owned it was kind enough to let me stay. The enchantment is tied to a song, but my voice is a little rusty. Could you, have our friend play the lute? I don't want to torture you with my singing.
Don't be so hard on yourself. But if it helps, I'll play a song. What shall it be?
Well, this is kind of embarrassing, but how about the spring song? It's the only one I remember the lyrics to.
That's a good choice. Let's play.
With autumn wind comes winter cold. With winter snow comes victory. It worked.
Was there ever any doubt?
But now I feel sort of lonely. How will I talk to my new friend if I'm stuck inside here?
Oh, I'm sure he'll have me bring you out if he wants to chat. So I guess we have a new member in our party. Hopefully you won't mind if I bring her along. She won't be much use in battle, or work as pack mule, but that's why you have me. Alright, let me just bring her out.
Oh, this is kind of embarrassing, but I don't know much about my homeland. Well, it's funny. For most sprites, our world is no bigger than a tree. When you talk about ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ, it's kind of like the way you giants talk about the stars. It's not really part of the world. True, it's kind of exciting if you think about it that way. But on the other hand, I do spend most of my time in this Lute. Not that I want to leave. This is the one place I'm sure I won't get stepped on. Oh, okay. We should do this again.
I think that conversation went well. Let me know if you want to do it again. Certainly, you found my lute, so I'll play you a song. A good request. I think I know the words to that one. It's fairly blasphemous for a Bosmer to chop wood. To that I say, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. Very well, what would you like me to play? A good request. I think I know the words to that one. Yes. Very well, what would you like me to play? A good request. We can play that one for you. Yes. Of course. What can I play for you? A good request. We can play that one for you.
With all